Alright guys, so feeling kind of good about myself now. Let's talk about voltage. Okay, I have had the jack on my mind. Okay, my wife said that if we have a son, I wanted the name to be Jack, if not Jack, Austin. And we went with this one. Jack is very synchronistic to Kevin. Jack in the box. How about just a jack? Now, what is a jack? Look, why do jacks always have 4 dots on them, but one doesn't have? These don't have dots. Here, go look at pictures of jacks. Now let's count this. What do we have in dots and lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a segment 6, 7, 8, 9, and an infinite one-dimensional line depicting going on and off the plane. Like here and here of your two-dimensional plane that you can view this in. Okay? It's symbolic of a 10. Okay? It's symbolic of 5 0th dimensional singularities and 5 one-dimensional lines. Okay? Now, the reason I think that these don't have dots on them is because they depict the north and south of, let's say, a magnet. Now, for the sake of, simplicity, let's just draw a cube magnet where a north would be here and a south would be here, which gives you 4 faces you can possibly work off of this cube rather easily, because working off a corner of this cube of a magnet would be rather hard, and I view the 4 corners of the Earth as your 42 of your octahedral light source. Yada, yada, yada. 42 is the answer to everything. What is the goddamn question? So, if this is correct, if you could take a magnet, doesn't matter if it's a hockey puck shape or like a cube, wherever your north and south are, let's imagine that north is here and south is here. I think you have 4 faces that you could use to put springs off of. Okay, so what the coil I think is made of, it should be tungsten plated, because tungsten is what is used in water heaters. When applied a charge, it heats up rather quickly, which is what heats your water. Okay, so I think it's like tungsten plated spring of whatever the distance, coiled however many times, and whatever the diameter of tungsten or metal plated in tungsten is, which is then wrapped around a cylindrical antenna on one side, and the other side has a piece of foam with tape on it, insulating it from the magnet itself. So this metal is not touching the magnet, it's touching the insulator, but the insulator is separating this long coiled one-dimensional line from this magnet. Let's say the magnet is going to be negative, because magnetism is negative female energy, and magnetism is negative female energy, and positive is masculine energy, which is, attractive. So let's imagine that if you had the right materials and the right diameter and right whatever strength of magnet and perfect whatever, and if this could be proven in my hands on my table one day when I feel like it, if I can measure 3 volts off this and no current, I would be very happy. Okay? Now, I earlier thought that if we had a snowflake configuration, meaning you had a one-dimensional line going in and out of the page, and then you had a plus, okay, you'd have 6 faces, and I thought that at the end of each of these lines you could have a circle, which means you would have 5 directions to play with, right? So if this circle was this cube and it came from this direction, okay, let's imagine, okay, and at the end of this dot is this cube, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces to work with, where you could have coils coming off it. But I don't think you can have the coil coming off the north, okay, when the south end is connected down to this 0th dimensional singularity or antenna or whatever. So let's just imagine we only have 4, okay, not 5 as in my earlier assumptions. So if you were able to get 3 volts and 4 directions, that'd be 12 volts. 12 volts when you add them up in series, voltage sources in series, okay? Now a cube has 6 faces and 8 vertices. If you were able not to create a jack, okay, what if you were to create an X as well, right? Like again, I'll get back to this. If you were to, a cube has 6 faces and 8 vertices, just like that, just like the current model, okay? If you took the current model but depicted it where you can get 12 volts from 4 sides of a 3 volt, configuration of coily bits in an X pattern, infinite line connecting them. 12 volts times 14 is 168 volts. Now, if the Ark of the Covenant houses the current and the voltage, okay, that means you'd have double the voltage, so 168 volts times 2 is 336 volt. And coincidentally, there's your 120 volt circuit, and there's your almost 220 volt circuit. Okay, I'm assuming there might be a plus or minus a little bit and loss and all that crap, and yada yada yada. But very interesting that you can power both, denominations of North American power, or stuff. Oh my god, that cat, I'm going to lose it. Anyways. So, let's go back to the current model, okay? So again, you have 6 faces and 8 vertices. Look at that, 168 volts, okay? Why do I call it Armageddon? Because look, 3 volts times 4 times 14 is 168. 3 volts times 4 times 14 is Armageddon, which is 168 volts. It's a 1, in your hundreds column, unifying a 6 and an 8, okay? Volts. Now, I see this, your 3 volts is equal to the 1, the 0, and the circle all the way around it, okay? 1 and a 1 and a 1 is a 3, okay? 3 is equal to 1 and 1 and 1. Those are taken care of. Now the 4 is equal to the 4 here. Now that's taken care of. What's left? Well, you have a 5 and a 6. But you also have the entities of the previously used 0, 4, and 1. We'll just call them plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Oh god, this could be bad. So therefore, 5 plus 6 is 11, 12, 13, 14. 3 times 4 times 14 is 168. Let's say volts. Now, again, you can get 4. If you can get 3 volts off each one of these, and there's north and south, you can get 4 of them. Your 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, should be able to produce, 3 times 4 times 6. 3 times 4 times 6, and 3 times 4 times 8 if you count for the vertices, if you had a, plus, and then your x going through it. And your 14, whatevers, with your dots at the end, symbolically creating voltage for what is now, I believe, again, maybe 120 volt circuit and one 220 volt circuit. So not 2 of these and 1 of these, it could be wrong, could be off, whatever. So, again, 168 is only half of it because, again, you can expand off this. What's to say that you can put another voltage source here, another voltage source here, another voltage source on top, another voltage source on bottom, and then expand on this concept cellularly, okay? Voltage sources can be added in series. In parallel, the voltage sources, the current gets added, okay? We're not playing with the current. The current is not part of this equation. The current is all about that stuff, okay? It's the center of the Ark of the Covenant, okay? If you have a 14 here and a 14 here, 2 14s is a 28. 28 is the n plus 2 of 26. And there's your Austin Lee Meredith, the character, symbolized by the n plus 2 reality of the cellular energy device that we live inside of, perhaps. Okay, energy is equal to magnetism times constant squared. P is equal to VI. It's just voltage times current. So let's collect some current. Let's collect some voltage, by using magnetism. Like Charlie says, what's your favorite hobby? Or what's your hobbies? Magnets. Okay? Always sunny in Philadelphia. So, anyways, I just wanted to put together more thoughts and how my view of how I'm going to pull this off is actually changing, okay? Thanks to Jack, okay? We did have a miscarriage, and that could have been a little boy, and his name might have been Jack, so I'm just... Anyway. Jack. Thank you, Jack, for teaching me about north and south and how there is literally 4 and a 2. Because it's all about the octahedral light source. Why are jacks made this way? Why aren't they built another way? Okay, it's all about signs and symbols. Okay, I don't know if you can follow this. I don't know if you believe in this part, but whatever. Okay, guy? So, your XYZ, your third dimension, and the 2 eyes you use to perceive your illusion. There's your 5D Earth. Once again, You know, it's all about the GTAC. It's all about your 5D Earth, okay? Your X, Y, Z, and your two I's. Your capital C, your lowercase c. And then the T could be looked at in terms of a plus, cross, or capital T. Anyways, all that jazz. Cheers!